1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ignition.
Let's get this over with.
Warning! The following sound may damage your speakers.
Hello, Ghost fans, hunters, and skeptics. This is the Skeptic Sanctum, and it's live to you again, as we try to be live every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Today is Thursday, March 30th, in the year 2017 of our Lord, and today is also the grass is always browner on the other side of the fence day. Now, that's a large mouthful for a holiday, and I had to do a little bit of research, and the earliest dated thing I could find about this is from a website called Giftypedia that tells you, like, what kind of gifts to give out on all the weird nonsense holidays. And basically, you're supposed to give people, if you really want to give them one, they give this a 1 out of 5 gift boxes. Either you give somebody a journal or a prayer book. Because basically this is like, hey, look, be a good Christian and don't be jealous of your neighbors. But I think this could be a good, like, holiday to repurpose, because this is gardening season for a lot of people. And I'm like, I get really jealous of my neighbors. They have cool garden ornaments, they have cool trees, or they have, like, better looking trees that have less spiders, because I really don't like spiders. And I'm just incredibly jealous. I mean, our backyard is basically just... Today is the day to just not be jealous of your really cool neighbor's rose garden and their garden gnomes and their orange and pink flamingos and their tiki bar and then their completely, like, paved patio with the really nice raised grill set, and then, like, you push a button and a cooler, like, comes out from the mini pool. Don't be jealous of them. It's time to stop being jelly. Yeah, well, anyways, I'm here not jealous of the Garden Gnome collection my neighbor has, host Raven, and not with me is my usual co-host Tom, because he's still got another 2 weeks, I believe, in the cone of shame, and because he is so shamed, he doesn't want to be on air. I don't blame him. If I looked as ridiculous as he did, I wouldn't want to be on air either. We have a great show for you planned tonight, just as we do every show, because we are not your normal paranormal show. We are At the Skeptic Sanctum, for those new to our show, we're about 25% facts, 25% fun, 25% coffee, and 25% stuff we make up as we go along, because really, if you really want to know anything about the paranormal, let me tell you, about 25% of it's bullshit. And then, this all adds up, because this means that we at the Skeptic Sanctum will always give you, the ghost fans, the supernatural skeptics, the paranormal pundits, the ectoplasm collectors, and whomever else, 100% of pure paranormal education, entertainment, and fun. Now, I would really love to go ahead and just introduce our guest, because I've been looking forward to this show since I was reached out to him and was like, be on our show because you're doing something really cool. And our guest tonight, he's on tonight because we are breaking ground for his charity event that he's going to be holding later in the year at a really haunted location in Hartford City, Indiana, the Monroe House. It's not a house, it's not a location I've been to yet, but I've heard a lot about this location. And he's going to be on talking about it. And last year we actually did an investigation with him. Fans from whenever we were on Mixlr do remember whenever we did, I believe, a 6-hour-long broadcast from Poasttown Elementary School. We were there at his graces to help out with a charity for to get books for a children's literacy program that they hold in Middletown, Ohio. And so, with great honors, I would love to welcome a friend and guest, Steve Fisher, to the show. Steve, you're allowed to talk now.
It's not a bug.
No, Steve.
It's not a bug. But it is probably the most haunted school that is in America, in my opinion. But there's probably a lot of schools.
But now, since you said it's not a bug, we're gonna have to go right in and talk about what's not a bug.
It's your fault I said it though.
Okay, yeah. So last year at Poasttown, God, it was it in June we went?
It was May 22nd.
Okay. Okay, because we went and it was the sun hadn't even started going down yet.
No, it's still about daylight.
And you and everybody else was all farting around in the front of the school, looking at the security cameras, and then something goes by.
Correct. So, Tom was there standing with me. So what happened was we were doing the historical tour of the school, and the caretaker and owner, Daryl Wisman, was down there. And on the DVR system, you can actually see him in the gymnasium, and it's at opposite ends of the buildings, and then it's on different floors. So we're standing down there watching the DVR, and in the doorway down at the hall, we see something that looked like something playing in there in the doorway. So Rick Hodge and myself went upstairs, and there was nothing in the doorway but a chair, so we moved the chair. Then as we walked back, we checked the camera, make sure the camera's working, and we got back downstairs, and I don't know, it couldn't have been a minute or two, and we were all watching the monitor, and this little self-illuminated blue plasmatic whatever it is,
bug,
I don't even know what to call it. It's not a bug. It has no wings. so I spent I don't know, 2.5, 3, 4 hours going through all this DVR footage again to find it. And then once I found it, there was probably, I don't know, 25 people standing around taking video of it.
I know, and
but I have a still pictures.
I was just people we actually talked to, people, because you posted about it on Facebook, and people showed up that were in the area to come and see this.
Yeah.
And I think God, we had him on the show a couple days ago. A couple weeks ago. I don't know how people still come on the show because I can't remember anybody's names.
Was it somebody that was at the event?
Yeah, it was
was
Chris.
It Amy?
It was Chris.
Oh, Christopher Maggard?
Yeah, Chris Maggard.
Yeah.
Don't tell him I forgot his name.
He'll probably already know.
Yeah, he probably knows. He's like Raven probably is gonna forget my name.
Yeah,
I knew it was Chris. I just couldn't remember his last name. As I know
18
18 different Chris's.
Yeah, he was actually he's personal friends with Daryl, so he happened to be there visiting Daryl, and when we seen it, we called Daryl to show Daryl what we had got, and then he called him, and he come up there, and I can't remember everything that he said, but he it was it was everything but explainable. You know what I mean? And not very many times can you say that. I mean, it's still a possibility that it could be something else. I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't know what to call it. That's to
Right.
me, that's unexplainable to me. I mean, I'm not saying it's paranormal, but I'm saying it's unexplainable.
Right. Now you did actually, because we don't have a copy that you were able to send me so I can play it just
Right.
purely on the stream. But you do have it on your phone, so
Yeah.
if you want to go ahead and like hold it up to the camera so people that are watching can see the clip. And then, now if they were to find your Facebook page for your paranormal team, they'd also be able to see it there too, right?
Yes.
Alright, so if you want to go ahead and show the video though on your phone.
All right. So I'll show you the still picture first so you know what you're looking for on it. And then after I show you the video, I'll show you a picture of the actual hallway with no night vision, no anything. It's just daylight and a camera. And it's from where the camera was actually sitting. So here's a still picture of it, and you can see it right there.
Alright, hold it up just for a little second longer. Because I'm gonna, there we go. Okay.
So let me get the video. And you can see that it's broad daylight. You can see the daylight shining through. And the closest door is right over here. And it comes out of the wall in front of that door and flies over to the other side. And you can actually see the other screen over here for the DVR system. So this was actually live review as we seen it.
Yeah.
Well, with a 3 hour delay of finding it, but so that's that. And then let me show you the picture of the hallway. There's the hallway. Then that's taken from the same camera position that the camera was in, and it flew out of this wall over into that wall. And that's the doorway that you actually seen in the camera. So if you can explain it to me, please let me, you know what you think it is. I mean, we've had all kinds of people say bugs. We've had people say it's dryer lint, dust, cat hair, dog hair. So we actually went to another location in Cincinnati and took cat hair and dryer lint and fuzz and dust and all that with us. And we actually sit there and blew that shit in front of the camera to try to replicate something that looks similar. And there's nothing that looks blue. It always looks like a bright white.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just the
Um,
most unexplainable piece I think I've ever seen. But
yeah. And I'm just gonna just be the skeptic that I am because this wouldn't be the name of the show if I
that's
wasn't.
true.
Um, it's a bug.
Well, and that's why I say that's why I've never called it paranormal. I've never said this is 100% paranormal because, I mean, honestly, at this point, we're all just collecting data. Nobody really knows. You can't replicate it in a lab anywhere. So, can we call anything paranormal? Not really. That's why we call
No.
it unexplainable.
And like we have, and this is a big issue in the community is there isn't a unified process. There isn't a unified way of doing things. We don't follow a format. We don't like make reports. We don't have like a brain bug of people sitting around going, okay, if this kind of apparition shows up, do we
Mm,
give it a name? What kind of class is it? We don't do that.
no. There are like general words or whatever that we use that's pretty much universal, like Class A EVPs or you know stuff like that. That's pretty similar, but no, there's no written scientific um, answer for what we do, and the equipment that we use is not something that's you can. I can sit here and say it works for me, but I mean, it's still not proving that there is paranormal out there, and that's the skeptic side of me, not wanting to call it paranormal. You know what I mean? I'll call it unexplainable, and until one day we sit down and collectively have enough data to say this is, a spirit or whatever, then we'll never call it paranormal. At least I won't call it paranormal.
Right. You know, it. I mean, I really do wish though that we would get more unified in the community with stuff because I mean, I've heard people talk about the most bizarre ways they get evidence.
Sure.
Like this one guy was bragging about how he did the thing where you tape the cut in half ping pong balls to your eyeballs
Yeah.
with the white noise in the
The
background
depth.
and everything. The
Yeah.
thing that stimulates a false LSD trip.
Huh.
And he said that that's how he investigates.
I don't think you should ever investigate under the influence of anything myself, but especially not and try to be credible, and especially if you're trying to give yourself a feeling of tripping on acid. I mean, I guess Native Americans used peyote or whatever to go on their spirit trip. So, I mean, I guess it could be possible that that's
Well,
just his way of
I mean, an internal.
meditating it, I guess.
I'm sorry, pardon?
I said, I mean, he could be trying to block himself off or ground himself to meditate. I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean,
for me,
I'd
and
have to
then,
sit down.
yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, but
All
it's
right.
just, it's just, yeah, an internal meditation, self-discovery thing in order to, that's culturally acceptable within your people is, completely different, though, than going to a location, false tripping on acid, and saying, I'm seeing shadow people come out of the walls. There's a lot of them.
Well, it's seeing, but that's where the credibility comes in because in the community you don't have much more than what you know you say you are or credibility, and if you don't have credibility, then people aren't going to believe or watch what you do anyways.
Right.
I mean, credibility is everything. You don't put something out there like self-inflicted acid trips while you're in a haunted location and say you've seen some shit because I'm sure you did.
Mhm.
I don't think it was because you were in a haunted location. You were probably in your bathtub, curled in a ball. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I've never heard of that. I mean, I've heard of a lot of things, but never anybody taping ping pong balls over their eyes. And
It falsifies an LSD trip because yeah, it's basically you're messing with your senses, and it's just like
yeah,
out of all the things, like even from like from the fake mediums and the fake psychics, and like people like claiming anything that moves is a demon. The dude saying that doing the fake acid trip thing is a legit way of investigating.
is
That's like the icing on the cake, and I've never heard anything weirder.
yeah. No, I wouldn't even think twice about watching or listening to anything that guy did after I had heard that.
I don't. He's lucky I don't remember his name because I'd just be
You
like,
called
this
it?
this man is a whack job.
No shit.
So, um,
But the word demon is probably demon or demonic is probably the most overused word in the paranormal community.
yeah, extremely. I hang out with people, and anytime they say
You
anything is
do?
weird, yeah, I know, right? Everyone thinks I just
That's
sit
weird.
here doing things all the time. Maybe I do. Um,
Well, but it could be with people.
right. But anytime they say anything weird's going on, I just go, look, I'm the paranormal investigator of the group, and I can tell you it's demons.
my goodness. That's funny.
Yeah, just tell everyone it's demons.
It's
Cars making a
demons.
weird sound. It's demons.
Yeah. It's they're all demons.
Okay.
Everything we do is demons.
But hopefully now we got all like the cool vibe out, and like you and I were friends now. We were
Yeah.
friends earlier, but we're more friends now. Um, because this is where you're gonna talk a lot now, because you're gonna be
Sweet.
talking about the Monroe House and your
Ugh.
charity thing. But first, before we talk about the charity, you've gotta tell us about the Monroe House.
Well, the Monroe House is like you said. It's a house in Hartford City, Indiana, and it's actually across the street from the Hartford City Jail, which is also said to be haunted. And I can tell you from going to the Monroe House, it's probably the most haunted place that I've ever been. And when I say that, I mean every word of it. And I know that everybody says that their favorite place is, you know, the most haunted place or whatever. Post Town is probably my favorite place to go. But the Monroe House is by far the most haunted place that I've ever been. And the owners of the house are nothing short of spectacular. I mean, you've met Daryl and his wife, and they're great people. And the owners of the Monroe House are no different. They're great people too. But from the first time I stepped in this house, you can feel the energy around you. Just you can't explain it. I can't sit here and explain to you how haunted this house is and actually have you believe me. That's how haunted the house is. You'll feel the energy change when you get into this house. There's no doubt about it. You walk through the door and you feel the energy change. And I would say that has happened to everybody that has ever been into this house to do what we do. And the first time we went here was probably the most memorable time that I've been here. We were actually under the house in the crawl space where there's said to be people that are buried under there or whatever. And we've unearthed a bone under there, and I know that it was on national TV with Nick Groff, and they actually were, found some other things under there too. So, but after that, the activity didn't do anything but pick up, and um, from disembodied voices to shadows to um, seeing what looks like apparitions in a camera on a wall from a DVR camera, the same system that I used at Post Town. um, I got scratched walking down the stairs because I was probably talking a little bit too much shit. And so when I started walking down the stairs, I felt my back start burning. There's actually pictures of that on our Facebook page also. But what gets me about this house is a house that will latch onto you, and the house won't let go. And I say that because I know myself, I've had an attachment from this house, and I still see the little boy from this house in my house today. So, you'll be standing in my kitchen, and it looks like my son that runs by and comes to the office. So you'll start walking over here, and somebody, my wife will look at me. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm going to get my son." And she's like, "He's sitting on the staircase." I mean, it's that real. And even when I talk about the Monroe House, activity picks up in my house. And then that's when one day I got nosy, I guess, or curious, and I grabbed one of my recorders, and I actually got an EVP. I said, "Where are you from?" And it says Monroe House. So I haven't put it out yet, but I've actually passed it to a friend of mine to actually have him listen to it. So, but I mean, the house speaks for itself. I mean, there's been things that have happened in this house that I don't think I've ever heard about happening in any other place. And from attachments to seeing the little kids and hearing the stories that have happened in this house, and some of those things are from devil worshiping to severe child abuse and neglect. And there were probably other things that have happened in here. And I mean, there's just so much history about the house, and then there's still so much unknown about it.
So,
But go ahead.
sorry to interrupt you, but so then,
Okay.
on a scale of like, from like, Scooby Doo meets the Witch's Ghost to the Blair Witch Project,
Mhm.
um, if, how would you rate this house for a first time paranormal investigator?
Uh, for a first-time paranormal investigator,
Yeah,
I would
like,
say you're probably going to be more Blair Witch Project.
okay, so, listeners and viewers, if you are really scared, of the paranormal, don't go to the Monroe house.
I, I
For the first time.
I wouldn't say don't go.
I mean, do go,
I,
but bring a friend.
yeah, bring an experienced friend because you're going to need somebody that, I mean, you know, you, and again, you could take a seasoned investigator to this place, and some of them don't last. Some people have to leave.
Yeah.
Some people get violently attacked in this house. You know what I mean? But it's not it's not something that happens to everybody or every day. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but you know, I probably deserved what came to me. I was talking a little bit of smack, and you know, other people haven't, and they've still ended up with scratches or burns or handprints, whatever, and you you can't explain it. If there's a group of 7 people standing in the same room and everybody experiences some kind of physical contact from something you don't see, I mean that's different if it's one person, but this thing affected everybody.
Yeah.
And it's like that every time we go. And it's like I said, it's got to be to date the most haunted place I've ever been.
Yeah. And the fact that you mentioned attachments, you know,
Yeah.
I'm a skeptic, and I say that a lot. But one thing I'm not skeptic about actually is attachments. Um, I sense when people have them, and people put the word empath only on paranormal stuff, but it goes beyond that because being empathic is just an ability to be able to read and understand and also feel a person's emotions. Animals are empathic. It's just, how they know that, group members are hurt, and all that kind of stuff. Like it's a natural, normal, not magical ability.
Right.
And so, but so like I can pick up really good when people are on bad mood or in a bad mood or if
Yeah.
something's bothering them, and and I'm usually like trying to figure out what it is because it's starting to put me in a bad mood.
Right.
So but when somebody though has an attachment, I wouldn't say if it's so much like a paranormal attachment, just something outside of them is affecting them at that location.
Sure.
And and the fact that you've had attachments, other people have had attachments at this house. This is definitely a house that no matter what you believe, you need to have some sort of cleansing done afterwards.
Um, and that I mean depends on the person. I don't personally cleanse. I feel like if I cleanse, I might lose the mojo. You know what I mean? So I don't want to get rid of any energy that I already have. I mean, I don't want bad things following me home. So I do things for protection, that things that I personally believe that help me, not that, what I believe may not be the same as what you believe.
All right, right.
So whatever works for an individual at that point, as far as protection, but cleansing would depend on the person, because like I said, personally, I don't. But if you feel like, you do, then, the one that I've heard that has worked for people is a Reiki cleansing. But I personally haven't had one,
No,
and
I've neither.
I just try to talk to whatever follows me, and I use what I believe that protects me, and I worry about my family too, because I got kids and a wife and whatever, and you don't ever want to bring something bad or negative home, or if you want to say the word demonic, because when people think of attachments, people think of demons.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be a demon that attaches himself to you. It can be a cat. It doesn't matter.
Right.
So, but cleansings, it just again, to me, it's personal preference on that. I mean, as it is with most things and what we do.
Yeah, like and I use the word cleansing as a extremely like general term.
Yeah.
Um
Sure.
because like some people they believe in like the holy water cleansing and all
Hmm.
that. For me, I actually find like like meditation kind of thing. Like, look, I don't know if there's anything following me. I don't necessarily believe if there is or is not, but you gotta stay here because I don't want you at
Right.
home. Because if you don't tell stuff to stay where it belongs, that's how you get demons.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, if you everything's a demon. Isn't that what it is? Everything's a
Yeah,
demon.
everything's a demon.
So, I mean, when we leave places, some of us do say, stay here, no hitchhikers, you can't follow, whatever, but who's to say that they're really going to listen to us? I mean, they don't jump out of the wall when they say, show me yourself.
Right.
So who's to say they're going to listen to that? But some of us say it. I mean, and I've said it before, but I mean, it didn't, it didn't work. So came home anyway.
Mhm.
But
So so then that's the Monroe House. So it's a highly active, kind of spooky house with a
yes,
dark history,
very.
and it has a prison across the street.
Yes.
That's
So
cool.
it's the Hartford City Jail, or Blackford County Jail, whatever they want to call it. Um, and that's a place that I haven't been to that I want to get into. I haven't heard anything but good things about it either. So
So, what made you decide to pick this location for a charity event?
it kind of picked me. Um, I had set up a private investigation for just me and the other three people on our team, and um, messaged them back and I said, hey, I was like, there was only 2 Saturdays left in the year to book in the house, and I booked one coming up in June, and we'll probably do some live stuff from there on our Facebook feed and whatever. But the owner said to me, she said, you should have an event in October, and I said, oh, all right, cool, let's do it. I said, what do you want to donate to? And that's pretty much it. And I think it was kind of the same way with Post Town last year. It's not something that I just wrote out a list of charities and said, I'll pick this one. It's whatever speaks to me, I guess, at the time.
Yeah. And, and you picked multiple sclerosis, which, I mean, that affects a lot of people.
It does, yeah. I don't think that's what we picked.
It isn't?
No, I don't think so.
Oh man, that's what I thought it was. At least that's what
Uh,
I was told. What are
uh,
you guys doing it on?
uh. We're actually doing it on. We're donating the proceeds from the event to Blackford County Animal Shelter, which is the local animal shelter in
Oh
Hartford City.
no, oh no, it's I think Gooseby that's doing the multiple sclerosis. That's who
Yeah.
it is.
Yep.
I
Goose is doing the MS.
Yeah, see, look, this is why I really shouldn't be in this business cuz I
Wow.
can't.
You- we just talked about this. I thought like right before the show.
Look, no, actually you didn't tell me what charity it was. I just knew it was a charity.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Positive?
Yeah.
Not sure about that.
I'm like 3% positive.
Wow. That 3% is better than zero.
Yeah.
I'll give you 3%.
Thank you.
So yeah. So we're actually donating into an animal shelter.
You can be adopting animals out of the investigation as well too, or
Well, I just spoke to one of the supervisors up there, and not we're not going to have the animals in the house. But that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, it would
Might be
be.
kind of fun. I don't know. Hey, if there's kids in the house, there's pets. So um, that might work.
Yeah.
But during the daytime, we're gonna do daytime tours of the house or many investigations if people want to do it, whatever. And then in the evening hours, we'll do a private investigation for a select number of people that can RSVP their spots with us or with me directly. But so I was talking to her not 20 minutes before you called me on here, and we mentioned maybe having some of the animals up there at the location during the day, you know, maybe early day hours or afternoon, you know, 2, 3 o'clock or whatever. But
Mhm.
there's nothing set in stone on that.
Yeah.
But
I
it
mean,
had been mentioned.
yeah. I mean, definitely the dogs at least. As like I mean, I own cats, so I'm like, I know how hard it is to get cats to stay calm when they're somewhere new. Um, but at least you let the dogs like go out. People love dogs.
Yeah,
Um,
people
and
do.
I'm really hoping that this does, it's really good for the animal shelter. I mean, they really don't get enough love.
No, I agree, and you know, it's a 501(c)(3) nonprofit. You know what I mean? So it's not something that really gets, you know, public funding for the most part. They have to get their revenue elsewhere. They only have, I think, she said 6 full-time employees and like 10 volunteers. And she said they really need like 100 volunteers to cover the hours that they need covered.
Yeah.
I mean, to get their money, you know, they're also the animal control people in Hartford City, and then I think they contract to a couple other counties, but I can't remember what they are, and that's how they make their money, and then donations. You know, so it's
Yeah.
to me it's a good cause to help out. I mean, everybody on our squad is animal lovers, and for the most part, I think 75% of people like animals. I think 25% don't, but you know, it's definitely a good cause.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm all 100% on board with like helping out animals. Definitely. Like here in Ohio, we finally had Goddard's Law passed,
Yeah,
and that was a really big move for animal rights up here in Northeast Ohio. And
yeah, I agree.
like not even 6 months into the legislation, and they already have this dude going to I think he's going to jail because he video came up that he apparently threw his dog into a bonfire, but it turned out it was his cat. And it's just like you know
Fuck is wrong
if
with
it had
people?
happened in December, he wouldn't be serving any jail time.
That's crazy.
But it took them, some states have already had animal abuse laws like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And Dick Goddard was fighting his whole career as a meteorologist, and that was like what 50 years, as he was the nation's longest meteorologist on air.
Wow.
And and he retired. He just retired, and he was fighting his whole career to get animal rights stuff put up. I
That's
mean, bestiality wasn't even illegal in the state until January 1st.
that's insane.
Yeah. I'm like,
Just to even think about that.
I just like who in their right mind lobbies against having that illegal?
Oh
Like,
shit.
what corporation? Who are these people? I want
I'm
to know who
sure.
they are so I can beat them up.
Sure, we can find that information on Google.
Yeah, it's just a lot more work than I'm willing to put out because I'd see things I don't want to see.
Yeah, no shit. You know, a lot of things that when you donate to places like this, I know this one they actually on their Facebook page have a PayPal link that you can go to and donate. You're gonna, adopt animals from shelters. That's, we just adopted a dog last year from a shelter, and my wife works with a rescue organization that rescues felines, and when you have 8 million animals that go into animal shelters every year and half of them never come out, that's pretty staggering to me. On some of those animals are obviously sick or old or just too violent to try to adopt out. But that's a small percentage of that 50%. And some of that is due because there's underfunding. There's not enough money for anything.
Mhm.
But like I said, you don't have to donate money. You can donate food or laundry detergent, bleach, Pine Sol, whatever,
Time.
paper towels, and just take them up there.
Yeah, or even I think they do background checks, but I do know they're always a lot of these places are always willing to have people come in and just play with the animals.
Yeah. And she said that they have 10 full-time volunteers right now. And that's it. And I said, I asked her, I said, well, how many volunteers, do you guys need, whatever? And she said 100. They could have two people cover, every segment of time, and the animals would never go without, somebody being there.
Mhm.
It's with only six full-time employees. I mean, that's a rough job. I
Mhm.
mean, it's not like Indianapolis where they have three or four buildings for the Humane Society. It's a small building in a small town in Hartford City, in Blackford County. It's not a very big county. And I think she said that they take in 700 pets a year, and their kill rate is, she said, 2%.
Mhm.
So consider Indianapolis, and their euthanasia rate is, I think, up in the 70%.
Yeah.
So when you look at a shelter, I mean, the numbers are obviously different. Indianapolis is bigger, so they're going to take in more. But any animal shelter that has over a 50% kill rate isn't doing anything to justify helping animals, in my opinion.
Right. That's I don't support any shelter that's backed by
No.
PETA because they actually are known to kidnap people's animals and euthanize them in the back of the
PETA,
yeah.
I think PETA's, I could look it up, but I think PETA euthanized over 2 million animals last year.
Mhm.
So for them to argue anything that they're an animal rights organization is horseshit.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a shirt that actually says PETA, and it actually stands for People Eating Tasty Animals.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think PETA. So I think if you love animals, you love animals. You know what I mean? I don't think PETA really cares, to be honest with you.
No, they had a good cause at the beginning, but now they just want money and they don't really care about animals at all. I
And
think they have
it's
a super I think they call it ultra vegan mentality that humans cannot coexist in the same environment as animals.
I, I don't believe it, but I mean, to each his own, I guess.
Yeah. But that's wrong because humans have since the beginning from what we can tell bred dogs
Right.
and all pet dogs today were bred for specific purposes and reasons.
Yes.
And I love pit bulls. I do. I think they're adorable looking animals, but I do understand that them and Rottweilers were not bred to babysit children or be nice dogs. And
Well,
I mean, they can be good dogs if they're trained right, but most people can't train high energy dogs.
and again, that's not a dog problem. That's a people
Yeah,
problem.
that's a big
You know
people
what I mean?
problem.
But like, when you talk about breeds, you got to look at German Shepherds. Look at what they're bred for. They're bred
Right.
for protection, and they're bred for obedience.
Mhm.
And no matter how, it can be trained for protection, but German Shepherd, in my opinion, is probably the smartest breed out there, and they're probably the most obedient breed. But I mean,
If you don't do it right, they're gonna be intolerable.
I mean, and that, I think, that goes with any animal. You know what
Right.
I mean? If it's not raised right, then It's same with kids. I mean, if they're not raised right, they're going to turn out to be shitheads too. So, well, some of them still do, but
Where I was getting with this though is that PETA's mentality is completely wrong because
oh
yeah,
yes,
the dogs are the pet dogs, most definitely have been bred since the beginning of human history
yes,
for their specific duties.
yes.
And
They have,
there actually used to be a species of dog that was trained to run inside a giant hamster wheel and turn meat for ovens.
never heard that.
It's
Huh.
it was in like they died out a little bit before World War II because nobody needed them anymore. And
Yeah,
but they had they were really big in Europe, didn't do so big here in the US because we had all the like the child factories and all that, and children were usually spinning things. But we had these little tiny dogs, and they would run in hamster wheels. And I know it sounds really extremely outrageous and kind of silly, but they were they were like a Yorkshire Terrier, but a little stockier.
hmm,
And but we don't since they didn't need them anymore, and they were very hyperactive because they would run in that they were trained to run in that wheel for a very long time,
yeah.
that their breed wasn't a rich person's breed to keep them as pets.
It's called a turn spit.
Yes, turnspet, yes.
Gotta love Google, right?
Yeah. And the dog died out before they even take before the camera, so they could
Yeah.
no pictures of this dog. There's drawings of him, but
Hmm.
you'll never we'll never know exactly what this dog really completely looked like, other than that he was a stocky little thing to run in a wheel.
Right. That's what it says. That's I had to Google it because I want to read on it and I didn't want to forget what it was.
And so they turnspit dogs, and
It's funny. I guess I could have just grabbed a recorder, but
yeah, you're fine. It's so and so it's really funny is like learning that kind of stuff. It does make like going back into investigations, paranormal investigations, and
yeah,
going to these old houses. I look for these kind of things now
sure.
because there are things that just like tiny things like the turnspit dog that are completely lost into history because they weren't a part of culture anymore.
Right.
And it's like old expressions and old sayings that die out.
Yeah.
So so when we go to these locations and we're like, this thing is probably where the people that lived in this house committed virgin sacrifices. Might have just been the turnspit dog house.
It, and now that you mention it, it very well might have. I've uh, I've learned something interesting today, so congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Be the nicest thing I say for the rest of the show.
Aw, thanks. So nice. Steve Fisher,
Yeah.
everybody. We're just done now. Goodbye.
I'm out of here.
Okay. We do have like a little under 15 minutes left, and
Okay.
I'm like hearing like the thunderstorm of the century coming at us apparently.
Awesome.
Um and so 8,000 people so far in the county where I'm at. We're like smack dab in the middle of the county. 8,000 people are already without power. So we'll try to get this wrapped up before 10 o'clock just in case the inevitable
Sure.
happens. Yes. If anybody wants to get a hold of you or they want to join on the Monroe House event extravaganza, how
Yeah.
do they do that?
Well, excuse me. The spots are going to be RSVP only. So, you could go to my Facebook page and my paranormal team, and it's at P.A.I.N Paranormal, P.A.I.N Paranormal. If you look us up by name, it's actually Paranormal Activity Investigation Network. You can message me through there, or you can send me an email at let's see, I forgot what it was. That's bad, isn't it?
You're just as bad as I am.
Shit.
I wonder if you can.
It's
God,
pain. It's pain.paranormal at yahoo.com. And the spots are during the day. I don't care how many people come. There can be 1,000 people there. I don't care. The nighttime event's going to be limited to probably 15 people because it is a house,
Mhm.
and it's $50 a person to go to the house. If you come during the daytime, obviously we're just going to ask for a donation. It's not going to be $50 because you're not going to stay there all day. It'll be, half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever. We'll take you in. We'll go walk through with some of our gadgets and whatever, and kind of show you what we do and show you around. And you know, I'm sure that not everybody is going to be experiencing the event of their life, but at some point in that night, somebody will have something happen to them
A
that
demon.
they forget. I'll guarantee it'll probably be a demon.
um.
They'll probably, my I'm not going to give out my phone number, but
Yeah, that's
because
fine.
I don't want that. But you can also email me at if you can't find the pain.paranormal at yahoo.com, you can email me at s_fisher, which is FISHER _78 at hotmail.com. That tells you how old I am too. But Messenger on Facebook is probably going to be the best way to go on this, and then payments will be via PayPal, or I'll give you my address privately through Messenger or whatever when you contact me, and you can send a money order made out to the Blackford County Animal Shelter. So, or if you want to donate, straight to them, like I said, they have a PayPal link on their Facebook page. You can also mail them money order or whatever, check, or take them supplies. So there's lots of ways that you can find us.
Yeah. And when is the event again?
The event is October 14th. So hopefully it's still pretty warm outside and not
Mhm.
too cold.
Yeah, I mean, like, hopefully, if it's not gonna be a crazy weekend for us, 'cause we can't plan anything here at our household. Maybe we'll try to stop by. And
Absolutely.
yeah, it's like I'm thinking, it would actually be really cool to do like a live stream actually, while you guys are doing the tours at the house, like
Yeah.
stream from the animal shelter with the animals.
Right. Yeah. No, it's I mean, the when I talk to the lady that runs the place, we're actually going up in June, and we're actually going to meet with them before we do the investigation, and we're going to set something probably in stone on having animals there or whatever. So I'm sure the more publicity they get,
Mhm.
more donations they get. So anything that can help them or the animals out, I think they'd be up for. So
Yeah. And actually, I think I have your information down here. Yeah, I've got your Facebook at Facebook.com/P.A.I.N Paranormal in the information section about the thing too, so that people can contact you that way as well.
awesome. Yep, they sure can.
All right, and I know, I said I was gonna play videos and EVPs from the night, but we got talking about animals, and I think animals are
Yeah.
more important than ghosts.
They can find a lot of those on our Facebook page. Some of them I haven't even published to
Mhm.
anybody yet. The owners haven't even heard some of the EVPs and seen the short, 5-minute video that I sent to you. They haven't seen any of it either. So um, we'll put all that up on our Facebook page. I don't really do a whole lot of video editing for YouTube or anything like that.
Mhm.
So anything that we put out is just in little bits and pieces, and or unless we work with another team. We did a pretty big location in Randolph County Infirmary with Paraholics, and Matthew Jackson actually put together a really good video called I think it was a ghost against a building or something like that. I'd have to look, but it's it's one one place you want to go to that's in the same area. So,
Yeah.
but you can find some of our stuff, some of our, you know, I guess I won't say more popular stuff, but some of our stuff that we consider to be more unexplainable than other stuff
Yeah,
on
and
our page.
all right, awesome. So, thank you for coming on to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, not a problem. And I really hope that this works out. I hope that you do get 1,000 people showing up during the day to
That's
help.
cool.
I mean, even if just to donate money to for the
Yeah,
animal shelter, because
absolutely.
I mean, like, granted, like, I know, like, the towns and cities away from the bigger cities usually they do get a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
And I know why. And so, I'm hoping that this, in a lot of those dogs, they can't be rehabilitated. And, funding really does help out with stopping them from being euthanized, though.
It does. I mean, and that, I'm a firm believer if you're not breeding your dog for a good purpose, then spay or neuter it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's just, to me, it's, if you're going to breed it and sell puppies, fine, sell puppies. But keep in mind that some of those puppies at some point in time are going to end up probably in an animal shelter or dead.
Mhm.
So be smart about it. You know what I mean? And if you're not, spay and neuter your pets in case
Yeah.
they do run away or get out.
Yeah. So, I hope that, I hope this will be a good one because, one, we love animals
Yeah,
here at the Skeptic Sanctum, like, way too much.
I understand. You know, so tomorrow night we're going back to Post Town. So
Ooh.
at some point in the night, if you guys want to shoot me a message or whatever, if you we can grab my laptop and go up somewhere. And if you guys want to do something for your show or whatever, let me know.
Yeah, we could, yeah, if you get anything cool and crazy or whatnot, we can definitely, pop on and, like, do a small thing. Or, if you, yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to do that, I mean, something that I have no problem doing because I keep track of like all the viewer stats and everything, and
Right.
so like I mean, if you want to be like, hey, I want to Skype this EVP session we're going to do, yeah, I don't mind popping on and you skyping in and I just stream it.
Sure.
Because that's like something is that there is a really big lack of I think live investigations and real investigations online because a lot of people don't realize how freaking boring it can be.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a rather large building, and there'll be some, as much as I love the place, there's going to be some rooms that won't speak to you. So
Mhm.
you're right. It will be, and it can be boring at times, and that I think that's another problem with paranormal investigating is everybody thinks that because they watch the TV shows that it's like that all the time, and what people have to remember one about TV shows is it's Hollywood. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
So some of it is done up. Some of the other shows that are around that are, like we were talking about Chris earlier. Christopher has a show, um, Search Existence Unknown, and
Mhm.
so he does his show, and to me it's pretty legit. You know what I mean? And you can't say that about a lot of things or a lot
No.
of TV shows on it because people think it's all, it's like that all night long. And you're right, it's not. It's far from it.
That's why I'm really actually happy that we have moved over to YouTube because like we would live stream the audio only on Mixler and
Yeah.
we'd have to play music because it's just really boring. But and so people listening in can't get the full. Well, I mean, you can't really get the full experience with video either, but they can't get the gist of the investigation with just audio.
Yeah.
And
No,
so
I agree.
putting the show on the go with the laptop and a webcam is I actually have like I have a little cart I got from my late grandmother and we're gonna spruce that up for investigations and wheel it
Cool.
around when we go to places.
That'd be cool.
And because
You-
it'd be like maybe one day I'll get some initiative to automate it and just let it be like the people can like go through as a robot.
You could always put some kind of motor and tires on it and have a remote control.
I think that would be cool, and be like, let people be the VR experience the whole investigation.
Right. No kidding. No different than your dad carrying his phone around the whole time.
He needs to put that thing down. He plays Pokemon Go all the damn time.
Oh my God.
He doesn't stop. Kids on
So,
their phones these days.
so now we know why he's, really not on the show because he's out chasing Pokemons.
See, it's actually, it's funny. I would still be playing it if my phone could handle it, but it can't. It's not a bad game, and it's really funny. Especially like when when an investigation starts getting really boring, he just goes, "Oh, there's a Pokemon outside," and then he vanishes. And sometimes 2 or 3 people will follow after him, and then they all come back inside, and they go, look, somebody almost stepped on a ghost. And then there's a picture of one of the people trying to step on the Pokemon. And it's just like, we're here to catch ghosts, not Pokemon.
It's a demon.
Yeah, it's a demon. It's definitely...
The demons made him do it.
Yep, the demons.
They sure did. Awesome.
Well,
I hope you guys do get to make it out. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It'd be nice again. So
I'm not going to plan anything that weekend, and I'm not going to let Tom do that thing where he goes, let's do a show every night of the month of October. Not letting him do that to me again.
Yeah. No.
That was a blast.
Never doing that again.
Did he say that wouldn't have lasted?
No, he said it was a blast.
Oh, I'm sure
tired.
it was.
I was tired.
Well, I mean, how much does he do other than talk? Nobody's saying anything.
I'm like, you can't see me because of the way that everything's set up, but I'm trying to find words. Now, he finds guests sometimes. He writes up his own little bit of the script a little bit. He talks so I can do all the technical stuff.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
At least it's interesting. It's not, talking about the new chicken biscuit at Chick-fil-A or whatever.
Hey, actually, we could probably go on for a very long time about the new chicken biscuit at Chick-fil-A, because we do like Chick-fil-A at this house.
Chick-fil-A is very good. It's delicious.
Yeah, it is. I'm addicted to their... I actually have next to me, I always keep it with me just in case an emergency happens. I always do have a packet of Chick-fil-A sauce with me at all times.
The Polynesian sauce?
Yes.
Mix that with ketchup. Put it on your chicken sandwich.
I do, actually.
Look, that's got to be great minds think alike moment, because that's pretty good shit right there.
I'm like, these are reading glasses so I can even see everything. So, like, I know Tom is, like, making looks at me, and I can't really tell what he's looking because, like, after the computer screen, everything's all blurry. So, I don't know what he's...
Trying to figure out what that thing is on your neck. Oh, it's your head.
Ain't that a bitch?
I didn't flip him off or anything. This is a family-friendly program. Okay. So... it is past our fun hour. I know your work is probably trying to get a hold of you because they're like, oh no, Steve is dead. Demons got him.
Yep.
So.
They're not calling, so I think we're good.
Is there anybody you'd like to give it a shout out to? Anything that I may have forgot to ask about to remind you to talk about?
Just, my team and all the people that run locations and take care of them and actually put the money back into it. Shout out to all the people and the people that go out and help those people, volunteer their time to do it. They don't get paid nothing for it. It's just something to give back. Other than that, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. And, we'll do it again, I'm sure.
See, Dad. He can't see us, Dad.
No, I can't see
He
it.
can't. Yeah, he came over with his cone of shame, And
I'll
so
be back soon.
and just I don't know if yeah, we just had like a nasty bolt of lightning. Yeah, this is the same storm that like was giving people free trampolines in Texas. Um
That's awesome.
yeah, like my mom was like, because we were looking at the weather system and we were like, oh man, hopefully he's not at a tornado shelter by the time the show comes on. But it looks like we might be right as we're ending. So I mean, I don't know if there's any questions from chat or anything. I'll give it just another minute or two before I close up. Um, and just thank you again for coming on, and thank you for helping the animals.
I don't know. I'm glad you offered to help us because I'm not a big fan of being on the radio or anything, but for something like this, I really can't say no to. So
Mhm.
I was glad you guys offered to have me on the show.
No, it's great, and as you get more information about the event, let me know.
Sure.
Send me information and materials, and I'll see what I can do to try and make you a promotional video for the event.
Cool. I appreciate it.
And even if we can't be there that weekend, I wouldn't mind, if you like set up a Skype thing and we just stream the whole thing all night.
Okay. No, they actually have I believe they have a Skype set up already at the house to where they can watch it. So I'll talk to them about it here in June when I go up there and see if we can't do something like that.
Yeah, because I think that would be awesome. I
Sure.
mean, just for one or two of the things, and but hopefully, maybe at least one of or two of us can go down and help out. I do know that for Tom, that's a busy month because he does money stuff.
Money stuff.
Money stuff. What, Dad?
You said October?
Yeah.
That's a bad month.
Yeah, October 14th.
That's a bad month.
He said it's a bad month. So next time you do an event, don't do it in October.
it's October. You don't help people. Or it's animals that are sometimes better to deal with than people. So
Yeah.
it's rather deal with dead people than living people some days, and definitely rather hang out with animals than most people.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go because the thunder and lightning's getting really spooky here. I'm not afraid of it. I just don't want like things to explode while I'm on air because I will make a sound.
That would hurt.
Yeah. So, good night, Steve. I mean, if you
Good
want to
night.
stay, if you want to stay on just for a minute though,
Sure.
yeah. So, good night. Good night, everybody. The ghost fans, the ghost hunters, the ghost skeptics, and everyone else that tuned in and just wanted to have a fun time. Everybody have a great night, and go ahead and check out Steve his Facebook page if you want to get in on the event. Facebook.com/P.A.I.N Paranormal. The Monroe House, if you want to check out any more information about that. Facebook.com/Haunted Monroe House. That's haunted MONRO house. I mean ROE house. And then for any updates on shows, who's the next guest going to be? Actually, our next guest is going to be Jeffrey Hale from CERT. He was going to be on at the beginning of March, but because Tom is a big giant man child, we skipped 2 weeks, and we'll have Jeffrey on next week. And but if you want to keep up with the Skeptic Sanctum, Facebook.com/Skeptics Sanctum. Alright, so thank you everybody who tuned in. Have a great night. And